everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and tonight I'm going to share another Saison with you. Now, I have kind of the luxury of living here in Kansas City for several reasons, and one of them is that I get to enjoy Boulevard Saison Brett. For those of you who have been watching this show for a while, you know, my buddy Andy came over, and this has probably been 2-3 months ago, and we did a review for Boulevard Saison Brett. Now, it is rated one of the best, if not the best, Saison in the world, according to Beer Advocate and Rate Beer and, you know, some of those sites. So what I wanted to do is kind of explore some of the other Saisons that, you know, maybe live up to that or kind of situate themselves, you know, in that level of beer. So this is only one that I've had maybe once, and it's been quite a while ago, so my memory, you know, I don't really remember that well what it tastes like. So I saw one in the store the other day. I figured, why not? Let's go ahead and try it. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, these come caged and corked. So I'm going to go ahead and take a second and get all this off. You know, I could probably do this beforehand, but hell, you know, what can I say? Wow, there's a lot of smoke coming out of that one now. You know, this has got a green bottle, so I'm a little skeptical. You know, green bottles scare me, I'm not going to lie. You know, I always get a bit of funkiness from green bottles. I think, you know, people who drink Heineken and, you know, any of those other bottles or beers that come in green bottles know exactly what I'm talking about. They tend to skunk up a little bit. So. But anyway, this is the Saison Dupont, like I mentioned before. It is a beer that comes from Belgium. It's brewed by a place called Brasserie Dupont, as a matter of fact. And the alcohol by volume on this one is 6.5, which is, you know, rather traditional for a Saison. They're usually around 5 to 7%. So, you know, this one's right on target. But anyway, let me go ahead and pour a little bit of this. And we'll start swirling it around the glass and kind of see what we got going on here. And I'll set this, actually I'll set it right up here. That way, hopefully you can see that. I don't know. But, you know, right away, I'll be honest with you, I'm getting some skunk. So I don't know if this was just improperly stored or what, but not as much when I put my nose in there. That's what's kind of weird to me. You know, as soon as I pop that cork, I could, you know, I could get a little bit of that skunkiness. But the good news is now that I've put my nose in the glass, I don't really get that. This really does smell like a traditional Saison. Now, just to give you a brief background of Saisons, they were basically brewed in the wintertime, and, you know, from the amount of time that it took to ferment and brew these beers, they would usually be ready in the summertime. So when farmers would go out and, you know, work on their crops, they would have something refreshing to drink after they came back. And so traditionally, you know, and you can call this a Saison, but they're also called farmhouse ales, and they used to make them in actual farmhouses. But again, they're meant to be, you know, really refreshing. So, you know, along with some of the other Saisons I had, I'm imagining that this is going to be slightly tart, lots of lemon. I do get a Belgian yeast component in there, which is really nice. Again, happy that I'm not getting the skunkiness out of the glass. I do get like some you know, some clove component in there. Maybe a touch of vanilla, maybe the essence of vanilla more than anything else. But mainly just the Belgian yeast, you know, lemon peel. You know, like if you take a lemon and you use a zester, I really get that kind of fresh, almost pungent, clean lemon aroma. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and taste it. So that's really nice, to be honest with you. You know, it's not overpowering. It's actually really subtle, and I can see how you know, people would think this is refreshing. I think this is a good lawnmower beer, to be honest with you. You know, you've been out mowing the yard or, you know, kind of doing some yard work, whatever, and you just kind of want something to, you know, be refreshing and cool you off. I think this would be a really good beer for that. Let me go ahead and taste it again. The taste is actually a lot better than the aroma on this one. Again, really getting a lot of those yeast components out of here. The Belgian yeast, I mean, you know, it's pretty hard to deny when you taste Belgian yeast. Once you've had it, now this isn't a Brettanomyces yeast. You know, I tried to do a lot of research on this style of beer, and I also tried to do a lot of research on this particular beer. And, you know, of everything that I read, I never once saw anything that had anything to do with Brettanomyces or any other type of wild yeast. So this is just a pretty much straight out, you know, Belgian yeast strain, and it's pretty enjoyable, actually. And I say actually, I don't mean like I, you know, expected it to be bad or anything, but I just, you know, sometimes it's good to just have a beer that's not over the top. You know, I drink a lot of stouts this time of year. This is clearly a beer you'd want to enjoy more in the summertime. But you know what? I kind of get tired of stouts, and I kind of get tired of IPAs, you know, time and time again. So let me get another taste. Good mouthfeel. It's really dry too, but it's not the kind of dry where you know, it just kind of dissipates after you take a drink. This actually stays on your palate really nice. Like I can feel it on the inside of my teeth. I can taste it all over my tongue, sides of my cheeks. You know, it's not tart at all, by the way. You know, I mentioned earlier that sometimes these can be, you know, just slightly tart. I don't get any tartness out of this whatsoever. What I really get at the end of the day is just a really well-rounded Saison. And, you know, for a bottle this size, and I think this is, yeah, 12.7 ounces, so it's just a touch over your normal 12-ounce beer. I'm pretty happy with this one. So if I had to score it on a scale of 1 to 100, which I do for the site, you know, I'm going to have to probably go about 91 on this one, I think. It's a very dependable beer. It's nice to know that, you know, anytime I just want a good regular Saison that's fairly affordable, that the Saison Dupont is out there. But yeah. I imagine fresh, this is probably a really amazing beer. I'm not really sure when this one was brewed. I don't know if they have like a bottled on date. I kind of tried to look for something before we started here and didn't really see anything. So, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Still a good beer. I'm enjoying it. Tell me what your favorite Saison is. Go to my website, www.thehopry.com. When you see this video, you'll actually see that I write up a little review underneath that. You know, read that information. You know, I'll link you up to some other beers. I'll link you to the top beers of this style. Also share with you a little bit of music that I've been listening to lately. Always have something on my iPod, and I'll share that with you as well. But click right above the video there and leave me a comment. Let me know what kind of Saisons you've been drinking lately. What's your favorite Saison? And anyway, my name is Mark Starr, and thanks a lot for coming back to the Hopry. We'll see you.